Moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Just so everyone's aware, the meeting is recorded and videoed. New items on the agenda: approval of the April 26, 2017 minutes.
Having reviewed the minutes, I make a motion to approve them as presented.
Second.
Any corrections or further discussion? With none noted, all in favor of approving the minutes, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The fiscal report, Judy.
Cash in the general fund bank account, $904,480.53. In the Erie Bank general account, $745, $146.59, for a grand total of $1,649,627.12. Said that wrong, but you got the gist of it. Sorry about that. Okay, coming out of the general fund this week, we just have the accounts payable, or not accounts payable, excuse me, they were last week. We have the payroll for $276,722.84, and our health care that came in extremely low this week at $26,712.71.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah. You missed it. I did my happy dance earlier, but
Very good.
I caught it.
Leaving us a net balance in the general fund of $601,044.98. We are getting down there close of doing another draw on the TAN, but the treasurer and I talked about it. He said he's got another deposit going in, so we're hopefully holding off at least until next week on doing that. And in the Erie Bank debt fund account and the small debt fund checking account that we actually make the payments out of, we have $239,000 in there. And we have an interest payment that will be going out. It's due by the end of June of $19,256.50. That's on the two outstanding bonds that we have. Both the bonds are listed on the bottom of the report. And can I make my other request at this time, or do I need to wait till later?
Should we approve the fiscal report?
Yeah, let's move on with that, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal report.
Second.
All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now please carry on.
Okay. I'd like to ask the commissioners to consider approving a loan of $250,000 from the Erie Bank account that we have into the debt fund account to allow us to call one of the bonds, one of the two outstanding bonds that we have. We would need another $250,000 in that account to satisfy the $1,050,000 bond, and we would actually be retiring that about 1 year early. It would save over $22,000 in interest for the county. The interest that we would forego on that money not being in a savings account would be $440, and the interest we would forego on the $800,000 that sits in the bond debt account would be another $2,400. The money would be paid back to the Erie Bank account through the regular tax collections that come in this fall. There is a $1 million bond debt reserve, and the treasurer and I looked at this. We anticipate it would probably be paid back into that account in October, December at the very latest, if people really lagged at turning their taxes in.
And if we held off, what would our interest payment be?
Interest payment.
Or what would we realize as a savings?
The net savings on all of this is right around $20,000.
Okay, and if we didn't do this, what would we be looking at?
We'd have this payment that would go out at the end of May of next year, which would have the full interest payment of $20,000 plus that on it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the loan of $250,000 to make a payment on the bond debt with the idea that it will be repaid in taxes by the end of the year.
Second.
Further discussion? I still have a question. We discussed this earlier, and you mentioned something about if we didn't do this in December, it would be $11,000.
Yeah, well, I said if you didn't approve loaning the $250 now, I would probably come back to you in December and ask to call the bond in December rather than next May, which at that point would only be saving us $11,000 instead of the $20,000.
All right, I get you. All right, okay.
I'd just like to thank Judy for bringing this to our attention. I think this is a really, great cost savings effort, and $20,000 is nothing to sneeze at for something that just involves a loan with money that we already have. So thank you.
I agree. I think it's, thank you, Judy, for looking into this, and for the treasurer also, for the two of you to come up with this. Also, in December, we had discussed that we would like to call the bond in December, so it makes sense to do this earlier and, save, $11,000 in additional interest.
And at that point, it only leaves the county right now, after this is transacted and done, which we have a call period. We'll have to contact Mellon Bank. They'll have to put out a notice that we're going to call the bond. I think that's a 30-day notice before they can actually satisfy the bond and settle it.
Okay.
But that leaves us with only one bond left of $675,000, which is great.
Great. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Judy, very much. All right, we'll move on to the next item of new business, which is a proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Employee Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. Emergency medical service providers have traditionally served as the safety net of America's healthcare system, and emergency medical services teams consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, firefighters, educators, administrators, emergency medical responders, and others. Approximately 2/3 of all emergency medical service providers are volunteers. And the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. Americans benefit daily from the knowledge and skills of these highly trained individuals, and it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week, and injury prevention and the appropriate use of the EMS system will help reduce national health care costs. Therefore, we, the County Commissioners of Warren, Pennsylvania, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through the 27th of 2017 as Emergency Medical Services Week, and encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Do I have a motion to adopt this proclamation?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? We have Todd Lake with us. Todd, you have anything to add?
Yeah, it's an important, emergency medical services does a tremendous job. Warren County volunteers is an ultra low. The quality of care that we have is comparable.
Thank you. We appreciate what you do for us and all of our medical services that are provided for the county.
I think I just want to add that, when we go flying by flashing lights and sirens and all, you recognize that is time that's being taken away from families and such in order to do community service. But I think the lesser known is just how many hours it takes to remain certified in these things. And that's what my special thanks wants to go out to. It's to the volunteers that are, more than just a first responder, but the guys who put in hundreds of hours in order to become trained EMTs or AEMTs, in order to volunteer. Because it's, 250 to 300 hours in order to be an EMT these days? And that doesn't count all the continuing education credits that you have to do. It is a lot of time. A lot of time in order to become proficient in, and it's just a volunteer. So I really applaud EMTs.
That's the good one. But even the paid, it's a special person to be able to paramedic or ER nurse or ER doctor. See it all. They're the lifeline.
Anything further? All in favor of adopting this proclamation, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Todd. Next on the new business is agreement with Palmetto Coasting. And this is an agreement, we have retained their services for, I think, a few years now. Is that correct, Mr. Gilbert? Okay. And the state requires the Tax Claim Bureau to post properties for delinquent tax payments. This will be heading into the 2017 upset tax sale and for unsigned certified mailings from the 2016 unpaid taxes. Phil, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
I just want to note in the actual agreement on page 4, section 3, it states that the term of this agreement shall begin on the effective date herein and end on June 30th, 2017. Let has approved for the whole entire year of 2017. We're not going to be posted in August for the upset sale.
Okay.
And 2016 taxes will be returned over to us. We won't be posting those until October.
Okay.
So the gross should be approved for basically the whole year.
Okay, so it's on page 4. It's section 3.1. The terms of this agreement shall begin on the effective date herein and end June 30th, 2017.
Yeah.
How would you like to read it?
December
2018?
31st.
So it's December. Yeah.
Oh, December. Okay.
17. So for this whole year.
Okay.
And I'll present it again next year.
Okay.
For that.
All right.
Because you haven't engaged them yet this year.
I have a
Yeah.
conflict
Will they send a new agreement for signature then?
I had it.
Thank you.
Or if we corrected it and all initialed it, maybe
Yeah.
that would
So-
suffice.
We could do that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with Palmetto Postings to begin today and end on December 31st of 2017.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Next item of new business is solicitor agreement. Recently, I guess there's been some changes with the Kinnear Law Firm, and Mr. Shreve is venturing out on his own. I understand this is being put on our agenda today to discuss whether or not we will continue to retain the services of Mr. Shreve or continue with the services of the Kinnear Law Firm. So we have a retainer agreement here from Mr. Shreve. And we were sent by email another agreement by Mr. Kinnear this morning, but I don't see it in the packet.
Well, he actually made a request for what the current agreement is so that he could review it, and that was sent to him. So, and basically the understanding is the terms of this agreement are pretty much the exact same as the terms of the current agreement, so I think it would be the same thing with
Well, he
Mr.
did
Kinnear.
send something different than the agreement that we have on file.
I didn't see that. Let's all check our cell phones
Yeah. So.
for the public's amusement.
But it's pretty cut and dried. Basically, it says that the Kinnear Law Firm we would retain their services, and they have hired a new attorney in the firm. Let's see.
We'll go with the Kinnear Law Firm. Who would be the solicitor?
The Kinnear firm.
Well, that's not possible, though. Would it be actually Rob Kinnear himself?
I would guess,
assume
yes.
that would be the case, as he would be the lead on it.
Yes. Well, let's see what it says.
I mean, fundamentally, the question is, do we want to agree to, I mean, John Shreve is the solicitor, so do we want to accept his new contract, which is the same as the contract under Kinnear?
Okay, but the
Or
current
do we-
agreement that we have is with the Kinnear Law Firm.
Correct, but
Yes.
he is the appointed solicitor, so
So-
we need to either make Rob Kinnear or someone at that law firm the solicitor, or we need to agree to Attorney Shreve's terms, which are the same.
So For the purpose of general discussion, I would like to make a motion that we adopt the agreement that John Shreve has provided to us as the solicitor in order to continue services with him.
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion?
I think we need to move relatively quickly on the decision. I think Attorney Shreve has done a good everything he's turned into us has been high quality. Certainly pleased with that. I'd hate to lose him. It's kind of unfortunate that we have to go through this, but I don't think that by accepting his terms would be changing anything. I did look through it briefly, and everything looks the same. The price is the same. It's not a retainer like you requested. I'm perfectly happy with saying Attorney Shreve, but I am disappointed that we would have to be parting ways with Mr. Kinnear. He also did an admirable job.
And my 2 cents are that this is a very difficult decision because I like both of them. They've both done a great job for the county. Rob Kinnear is a great attorney and has provided a lot of really great legal advice. This is just a matter of consistency, and that John Shreve was the one who pitched their services to us and has been the point man on most of the issues that we've dealt with. So I think that just consistency, and then also the work that's been done is good. So I'd like to stick with him.
Okay, well, when Michelle Alasky resigned, we put out an RFP for the solicitor position. And we received 2 proposals at that time, one by Timothy Bevavino and one by John Shreve. And at the time, I voted no when the 2 of you elected to put John Shreve into the role, solely based on the fact that Tim Bevavino carried a lot of experience with being a municipality solicitor and also is the Forest County solicitor. So he has a great depth of experience in being an attorney for county government. So I voted no back then. In this January, we had to sign a new agreement, and it was an agreement with the Kinnear Law Firm. And one of the main reasons why I voted yes on that agreement is because I felt confident knowing that Rob Kinnear was the senior partner and the owner of the Kinnear Law Firm, and that he was providing, in my case, the majority of the work that was being done for the county. On several occasions, I asked Mr. Kinnear to meet with me, and he either didn't show up or didn't provide any reason for not meeting with me.
Do you mean Shreve?
Mr. Shreve, I'm sorry. And I felt that it was rather unprofessional. I've had one meeting with Mr. Shreve since we've been in office, and he assured me that he would be more productive and that he would be answer my emails and my phone calls when I called, because as it stood to that point, he had been non-responsive. So my experience with Mr. Shreve has been very different than the 2 of you. So I am certainly not in favor of retaining his services. I would be more in line with retaining the services of Rob Kinnear, because he's the one that has routinely answered any questions that I've had and produced any work that I've asked him to produce. Even though I asked John Shreve, Mr. Kinnear was the one that was producing the work. So with just years of experience that Mr. Kinnear brings to the table as compared to a year that Mr. Shreve, I believe it's roughly a year that he's been an attorney, I just feel that the county is in much better hands with a more experienced attorney. And I believe he's more, he answers our questions. I just never seem to get anything in return from Mr. Shreve. So I understand the 2 of you wish to move forward with Mr. Shreve, and that's fine. We can call the question.
I did want to add that if that kind of behavior were to continue, that we would certainly revisit this.
Well, this has been my point. I didn't vote for him in the first place because of his lack of experience. And then in January, when we reappointed a solicitor, I felt that John, I'd give him a second chance. And we met in my office. It was the only time I've ever met with Mr. Shreve. And he assured me that he would be more responsive to my requests and that I could count on him to deliver a product when requested. And as such, that's not been the case since January. So I think Mr. Shreve, in my opinion, has reached my level of acceptance for a solicitor. So with that said, I'll call the question. All in favor of appointing John Shreve as the county solicitor, please state aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to appointing John Shreve, please state aye. Aye. Motion carries 2-1. And with nothing further on the agenda, I'd like to open it up to any comments or concerns. None said? Thank you, Lori. Our registrar and recorder, Lori Bimber. Mr. Gilbert, do you have anything to add? Okay. Because I know there were some concerns with the turnaround time with the solicitor working with you as well. Okay. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.